Hey, I swear it was purely recreational. Ow. Prison. The slammer. The can. The place my Uncle Terry went to. Whatever you want to call it, I was in it. And I was in it deep. But not as deep as Uncle Terry was in that good. My crime? Fueling my own car. In the state of Oregon. An unforgivable act on its own, compounded by the excellent work of my state-appointed attorney, Jimmy. Thanks to him and the ice pick firmly embedded in his parietal lobe, my $500 fine was successfully upgraded to 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. Hey, what's going on? What should have been a slap on the wrist and involuntary tax was now 21 years, 2 months, and 1 day behind bars. Or in layman's terms, 63 Marvel movies or maybe 1 Team Fortress 2 update. But fortunately for me, the bureaucracy of the Oregon Correctional System is led by what I suspect to be 3 kids stacked on top of each other in a trench coat, who, instead of shoving me with the rest of the road rash collegers, have, in their infinite wisdom, sent me here. Center Perks State Penitentiary. Looks nice, but don't let appearances fool you. There's some vile bastards caught up in here. You see, this is the place for all the daddy's money snowflakes who forgot to obey the law. Got some kids locked up here for some real unspeakable crap. Like, literally unspeakable. Check this. Some guy named Tony. And then they had to wheel off the victims in a soup can. But it's a nice place as long as you watch your back in the showers. They've got everything a man could want. Unrestricted access to the internet. I didn't know nuts could get that big. Top of the line exercise facilities. I think something's snack. And food that's only tried to eat me twice. I know, it's got my now. Hell, they even got movie nights. Let's see what's up next on the roster. I gotta get out of here. This was no ordinary prison, this was some sick, twisted emulation of hell on earth. In 7 days' time, they would force us to watch Independence Day Resurgence, a movie widely considered to be a crime against humanity by the broader international community. Watching it would result in either instant but painful death or some other fate the human mind could scarcely comprehend. Escape was not a question of if, but how. Escaping this place would require wit, grit, and kahunas of a density rivaling that of depleted uranium. Using these 3, I have devised a plan that is all but guaranteed to result in success, or at the very least, sweet relief from crappy Hollywood reboots. Here's how it goes. Remember that whole thing about unrestricted internet access? Well, when I say it's unrestricted, I mean it's unrestricted. There's no blockers, no trackers, and hell, the guards don't even know how to check the browsing history. With a little work, I was able to scour up some blueprints of this place on the contractor's website. They're not complete, but I now have the layout of a good portion of the central facility and, most importantly, my cell. Turns out, there's an unused maintenance shaft right behind me. If I were to tunnel through my back wall, I would have access to the perfect hiding hole for forbidden items and even a way outside at night given a little bit more elbow grease. From there, I could scout out the outer gates and find any avenues of escape. But all this would require supplies, which moves me on to... Goods are scarce here, but not impossible to get. Fellow prisoners often sell contraband goods. But, naturally, nothing is free in prison. I'd have to get money where I could, doing others' dirty deeds and cleaning them too. That's right, I'm on laundry duty. Ah, jeez, man, they don't teach you how to weapon. Well, I'd rather not deal with another man's swamp, but I need the cash more than I need the dignity. But the market can't supply everything, which gets me to... No, you didn't read that wrong. If we want to get out of here alive, we gotta go full Blackbeard on these bastards. If it ain't nailed down, we're taking it. Other people's stuff? Fair game. A half-dead man passed out on the floor? Fair game. If it exists and is in this prison, you better believe it's fair game. Is that about playing dirty? Forget what they're gonna do to us. Ain't a damn thing called playing dirty in war, pal. And with that all out of the way, I can finally get to... According to those blueprints I mentioned previously, that solid brick is actually just cheap drywall textured to look like brick. Thanks to budget cuts older than the Reagan administration, plastic forks pilfered from the mess hall should be all that's required to dig through. But forks ain't enough for this phase of the plan. I need something to cover the hole I make, or the gig is going to be over before it's truly begun. Fortunately, everything I need is right at my fingertips. To covering my exit with something innocuous, I can throw off suspicion, at least in the short term. In the meantime, I can just play it cool and keep going on with my day like everything is normal. I show up to my shift at the laundry room and try to do a good job. This place might be hell, but hot damn does hell pay well, and I've managed to finish with a little extra time. Perfect for looting. And other activities, of course. I had acquired quite a bounty. Wouldn't be able to make a poster, but I still had some nice tools and materials. And best of all, some cups. I would tell you what those are for, but that's a surprise tool for later. While full excavation is impossible at the moment, it wouldn't hurt to get started. And by nightfall, that wall was only a sneeze away from collapsing. As long as someone doesn't bump into something too hard or take a monster dump, we should be good. And with nothing more to do today, time to sleep. Day 2 would be roughly the same as day 1. My scouring would prove to be much more successful. By early morning I had all I needed, but I'm gonna hold off digging until nightfall. Less people, less chances to get caught. For now, it's just a daily routine. Gotta throw off suspicion where I can. I do some fighting, I do some working, I do some looting, and most importantly, I do some scouting. Looks like once I break out of my cell, I should be able to access the rest of the facility with a red key and cut my way out from there. I wonder who could have a red key though, but that's a problem for future me to figure out, because it's almost lockdown time and I've got some work to do. With one pathetic slap, my cell wall crumbles and I now have access to the back rooms. I quickly dump all my contraband and start digging out the back wall with the forks I still got. Unfortunately, I've got nowhere near enough, so I guess it's yet again time for bed. On day 3, the scope of my knavery is going to expand tenfold. Previously, my involuntary redistribution of property was only limited to my fellow prisoners. Today, we're tackling the prison industrial complex itself. Well, not literally tackling, but I'll get to that. Looks like Officer Logan has been making a name for himself, and by extension, been making me a lot of money. But I got nowhere near the beef to take the man on in melee. That's where those cups come in. Instead of throwing hands, I can just throw sticky, boiling chocolate. But let's not dwell on the messy details. The food here goes down hard enough as is. Getting back to the other flaming hot brown liquid, it'll do the job. And that's good enough for me. So I guess the only thing to do now is...
I don't know why, but it feels like my life expectancy just is going to drop in the next few minutes.
Thanks to some divine act of cruel irony, I now have to face the one thing I hope not to. Very pissed off guard with a very good right arm. But through the chaos of it all, I'm still able to get the pilfered goods, and even make a mold of his key, which I can use later to make a plastic copy. And while it's not the key I'm looking for, it's still a nice thing to have in reserve. And speaking about the key I'm looking for, through the power of close observation and deduction, I have figured out who the owner of this elusive key is. A man by the fitting name of Red Bastard. Weird thing to call yourself, but I ain't here to judge. By being the one-trick pony that I am, I do what I do best, and yoink myself a mold. In one working day, I've acquired 2 keys to this place, but my work is yet to end. I'm finally ready to break into the outside world, and soon the way is clear. But I'm waiting till tomorrow night to snoop around for a reason I'll explain later. For now, nap time. Day 4 is when things will finally get interesting. Today, I'm going to try to get my hands on a guard's uniform. That one, any snooping escapades would come with the constant risk that all my hard work will be ruined. Just like my sanity after watching Independence Day Resurgence. So far, I have had no luck on that front, and have absolutely 100% never had an opportunity to get one. But fortunately, I know a nigh unlimited source of said goods. My laundry job. I knew it was going to come in handy, but retrieval wouldn't be as easy as just walking out with a pair. No. See, at the entrance of the room is a contraband detector that'll scream out like a Karen at a Chick-fil-A if it even so smells you trying to get something illegal out. But fortunately, there's a solution, and it doesn't involve forks. With some tinfoil and duct tape I scrounged up, I'll be able to make a crude yet effective device to let me to get the goods undetected. After that, I'll just play it cool till nightfall, sneak out through my hidey hole, and walk around like I own the place. I don't expect to achieve much tonight other than some scouting, but it doesn't hurt to...
I've got an idea!
Forget what I said, boys. We getting out tonight. Turns out I never needed a red key at all. I could have just cut my way out from here. Who could have guessed? Smooth brain aside, I quickly run back to my stash and construct a rudimentary pair of wire cutters using some files I duct taped together. But enough politics. Let's get out of this place. Oh, didn't expect to see you here. What am I doing on an airplane, you ask? Leaving the country, of course. I'm heading out west to rush until things cool off back here in the States. Got the tickets really cheap now that I think of it. Something about a war or something. But anyways, I think I should be fine. I hope. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get some sleep. It's a long flight.
Do our best to give you a smooth flight.